Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pestana. Today we're going to do something a little different. So, as a literary publicist, radio show host, and book award judge, I have a very unique perspective when it comes to the topic of books and the publishing industry. One of the many things that I've noticed online is this dramatic rise in fraudulent and AI-written books, and even workbooks. So, how do we know when we're purchasing a book if it's actually genuine or something that is completely fake? Well, today we're going to dive into that just a little bit. So, I recently wrote an article titled The Rise of Fake Books: AI Generated and Fake Content Flooding Online Marketplaces. And this all started when I interviewed one great author whose book I absolutely loved. While I can't share the author here because they're still working through the process of copyright infringement, I can talk to you about what I discovered. So as I was looking up her book online, getting ready to purchase it, I noticed down below there's always these little sections that say either something along the lines of products related to this item or suggested reading, and a workbook popped up that looked really similar to her book. I went to check it out. I'm looking at it. It's a workbook. I thought this would be great to go with the book I just love. But something told me to dig a little deeper. And when I did, I was really surprised. While it had her title and her name on this workbook, she had nothing to do with it. In fact, I couldn't find out who the real authors were, which had me even digging deeper. I took a hard look at the book cover, and while it had the exact same colors as the original book, the font was off, the design was way off, and I couldn't really see who wrote the book. Usually that's on the cover, but it did have her name, the real author's name, which was even more confusing. So I purchased the fake book. I wanted to see what was inside, what type of content was in there, because I know this author's original book was amazing. I wanted to see, had they copied her book? What was really going on here? And it was even more surprising when this book arrived. It was very cheap. The layout was horrible. The English was very bad. And most of it was blank for journaling, which made 0 sense because her work really was very intensive. I'm looking for an author, can't find an author. They had a group of authors, I'm doing little air quotes, group of authors by some group name, and couldn't find them anywhere online. And so I thought, okay, well, I can't find the author. The publishing has to be the same publishing company, right? Wrong. So I look up the original author's publishing company. She's with a great, stellar, top-of-the-line publishing company. Look up this publishing company, and I couldn't find them anywhere. There's just nowhere to be found, no footprint online, which is another red flag. There was, however, a notation in the book at the end that talked about this group of authors saying that they are from a small village using this workbook to make money. And hey, I'm a big supporter of self-published authors and small publishing companies, but not people who steal other people's work. That is just wrong. We don't do that. And while that may be a good story, maybe it's true, we're just a group of authors in a small village trying to make money, do we really know that's actually where the money's going and who these people are? And we sure don't. Either way, the way that this is done is completely wrong, and we should not copy other people's work. So by this time, I've already interviewed the author for our radio show here. We've had a great discussion. She's an amazing person. And I email her to let her know what I've discovered. And of course, she is shocked. She never made a workbook, never gave permission for anyone to make a workbook using her title and her name. And over the weeks that followed, to make things even worse, while this great author I interviewed, her book is climbing the ranks on these online marketplaces for book sales because her book is, again, amazing. So is the workbook. It's now being suggested to everybody. More people are buying it because they think it's hers. They're getting confused. This fake workbook even made the top 100 books you should buy. Not only is this every author's nightmare, but it also is one hot mess. So, of course, I returned the fake workbook and report it to the online marketplace, letting them know why I'm returning it. It's a complete fake. The author hasn't authorized this, and they should know. So I'm thinking they're going to take this book down. They're going to contact the seller. Something's going to happen. But the thing is, nothing happens. The fake workbook is up for months, and the ranking of this fake book is also going up. So I phoned the online marketplace because now I'm kind of invested in this. I've already been researching it. I want to see this through. And I talk to them and they tell me, thank you very much. We appreciate you reaching out to us, but only the author or the publisher can report this for copyright infringement. And for most people, this sounds like it's going to start getting expensive. I've got to get copyright attorneys involved. I've got to spend a lot of time in dealing with this. And while part of this is true, there is a way out for authors. And this is something we'll talk about in our next conversation. So now, as I'm interviewing other authors and working with some great authors, I notice the same things happening again, but to them. Now they have fake workbooks coming out that mimic their authentic books. It is definitely a trend that is happening online and something that we really need to be able to spot so we don't get caught up in this mess. So here are some tips to spot a fraudulent book or workbook. Number 1, verify the author's name. Make sure to visit the author's website to see if they even offer a workbook. If they don't, either contact the author or think twice before purchasing. Look for an online presence. So I've noticed one thing with the AI-generated books, which is another issue that we'll go into another day. The authors of these books have zero presence online. Books are totally fake. They've been written by AI. And hey, while AI is great and it's helping us in a lot of ways, when it comes to automatically writing a book for us that we are going to then as consumers read and supposedly get something from, I'm not really sure if there's value there. Something to really think about. Make sure to compare publishing information. Usually the publisher of a great book will also publish the workbook. If it's not the same publisher, it may be another fake book. Beware of look-alike titles. A lot of times they like to mirror the best-selling authentic book in the cover design, color, even the font. So really check to make sure that these all look similar. Usually authors like to stay with the branding. If you can, use the links from the original author's website to purchase the books. Chances are you're then purchasing an authentic book. And if you purchase a book or a workbook, authentic books are thoughtfully laid out and professionally edited. If you notice poor formatting, lots of typos, and maybe even blurry images or the spacing's off, chances are you're not getting the real deal. Most authors take years to get their book to a place where it's available for publishing. And I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. We want to get that experience. We want to get the authentic book, the experience that the author is offering us with their education, their knowledge, their insights, and many times the research that has taken them years to develop. And just because you see a book or a workbook as a top ranking book doesn't necessarily mean it's actually real. A lot of those could be fraudulent, so you really have to do your homework and dive into what we've been talking about. Check the author's website, learn a little bit more about it, see if you have any kind of footprint on the author online. If there's no to all of that, then you probably want to think twice and really do your homework in regards to who you're purchasing from. Now, the true account of the author whose book I absolutely adore and had this fake workbook being sold under her name with her book title and a look-alike cover, that story's not done. But I know that there's a lot happening behind the scenes right now with that. Hopefully, we'll be able to talk about that more in depth in some of the next few conversations we'll be having. But in the meantime, visit my website, mariannepestana.com, and visit articles. I have a full list there of what to look for, what to look out for. And if you're an author and you find yourself in this situation, I have a few tips that may help you navigate this. So for more information on this topic, or perhaps you're an author who's looking for publicity for your book, or maybe you want to be a guest on the Moments with Marianne radio show, make sure to reach out to me at mariannepestana.com. We would love to hear from you. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.